Phoenix Audio presents
Secret Ceremonies by Deborah Laake. When I left home for college, I knew I was the sort of girl to whom romantic things had always happened and always would. From the beginning, I awakened in my dorm room with a feeling that the day ahead was made up only of opportunities for catching the glance of the love of my life as we passed each other on the sidewalk, and I fell asleep wondering how many more days would slide by before I found him. This was my state of mind when I espied Robert Peck my first Sunday on campus, and he was never out of my heart after that. I was drawn to him almost entirely because he was my Sunday school teacher. Even at age 21, he was the sort of starchy fellow whom everyone called by both his names, always, as though the words were hyphenated, Robert Peck. For what seemed like a very long time, our relationship consisted only of the fact that every Sunday morning I watched his performance. Week after week, he strode to the front of the classroom, impeccable in a three-piece suit, glanced imperiously at the members of his audience, and then rained down upon them a Niagara of theological theory, such as was to be found only among the returned missionaries, the most assured members of the Brigham Young University campus, where both Robert Peck and I lived. What a prig he was. I loved him completely. On the Sunday morning when Robert Peck finally approached me, I stood in the hallway of the Stark School building that doubled as a Mormon chapel on weekends. "I thought we might do something after church," he said abruptly. "All right. I'll call you," he said, and loped away, taking with him my equilibrium. I flew home ahead of nearly everyone. I felt that I'd been called by the Lord. It was easy for me to confuse the Lord's voice with Robert's. That's how much I admired an outstanding man. I also, at age 18, already desperately wanted to marry one, since I knew that my success in this life and the next was dependent upon it. The importance of such a marriage was the primary lesson of my Mormon girlhood, when it had been repeatedly impressed upon me that if I failed to marry a faithful Mormon man in a ceremony performed in a Mormon temple, I would be denied access to the highest level of Mormon heaven. Mormon heaven is very complicated. It's made up of 3 graduated kingdoms, but only the uppermost tier, the celestial kingdom, has any real status, and I had never intended to miss it. I felt my fierce commitment to Mormonism beating within me every day that I climbed up the slope.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?